So while the Nigerian people concern themselves with the rising cost of living, the lawmakers in the Nigerian Senate are absorbed in their battle for the leadership of the upper house, a race that is brimming with competition and gorged, of course, with the dazzle and spray of money, which we're told is being spent in profusion, or this wouldn't be Nigeria, would it? So in the midst of all that immoderacy and the rival for supremacy, along with disagreements over the public nature of the fight for power, the grumbling over the issue of zoning, and the narrowing down of preferred candidates, who's holding the line so far in the race? Well, as in all elections, it depends on who you ask, but conventional wisdom seems to suggest that Senator Godswill Akpabio is galloping ahead. Time will obviously tell whether he emerges as the poster boy of the Senate, or whether in his battle with those who are still standing, such as Senator Osita Izunaso, he'll be jostled out from the contest. So how acceptable is that alternative likely to be to the powers that be in the ruling APC party? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Senator-elect Osita Izunaso, representing Imo West Senatorial District. He was first elected to the Senate in 2007 and is also the founding National Secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress, or APC. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
A long period of work for you, I imagine.
Yes, a very long period of work.
And I expect you're still bruised and healing from the battle for your re-election to the Senate. I mean, I've heard you say that it wasn't an easy job at all.
No, not at all. Coming from the southern, eastern part of this country, it wasn't an easy election at all. I can say that a million times.
What was the big challenge? I mean, you've been to elections many, many times.
Yeah, but
what was different this time?
This time around, we have one of us, P2B, contesting for the president of the country, coming from that geopolitical zone. So every attention was focused on him by our people. But few of us escaped because the people believe in us. And they believe that when we get to National Assembly, we are going to deliver the dividends to them. So that's why they believe in us and voted for it. But it wasn't an easy task. Yes. I can assure you that it wasn't an easy task. Other people couldn't make it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes.
So in spite of all the wounds, I mean, without waiting for those bruises of that campaign to heal, I mean, you've thrown yourself into another race, which is that of the president of the Senate. What is it that is motivating you to go for it?
Well, the motivating factor is that I believe I have the capacity to lead the 10th Senate. Having been around for a very long time. I've been around for a long time. I've been in the House of Representatives as far back as 2003, in the Senate 2007, and at the same time, I've run the All Progressive Congress as National Organizing Secretary for 5 solid years. I did 2 conventions, one in 2014, in fact 2 in 2014. The first APC convention was in Abuja here to elect the party officials. And when we finished, we went to Lagos in December of the same 2014 to elect our presidential flag bearer. And I will also beat my chest to say that under that watch, when I was there, we didn't have a single litigation. We had 36 governorship primaries, no litigation, because we did the right thing. That is what is meant to show capacity. So if I can hold the party at that level, when we didn't even know whether we were going to win. You know, we were battling with the serving president, sitting president. So we needed to do everything right. So everything was done right.
So once you got the presidency, you started doing it wrong then?
No. That is not correct. I'm saying that even then, because you are talking about what motivated me, because I'm a founding member of this party. So having come to the Senate and I'm qualified, why wouldn't I seek for that position? If I'm not qualified, it's a different thing. The people who are talking about this today with me were in PDP. They were not in APC. We formed the party, we funded the party, and we have run the party from that time till today. Some of them just joined the party about 4 years ago, some joined about 5 years ago. So which means that if we didn't win, they may not even have joined the party.
Yeah, but they're running because they're senators.
No,
They're not running because they're members of the
APC.
APC.
They're running because they're senators under the platform of APC. That is why the opposition parties are not running. So, but they're qualified, no doubt about that. But I'm saying that I'm more qualified.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because I understand there's 5 or 6 of you in that race. Where do you think you stand in the pecking order?
Well, you know, when you're in a race of this nature, where everybody is sure he will win, the best thing to do is to ignore everybody and do your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm not brandishing numbers. Some people are saying they have 70 senators who have signed. Some are saying they have 80 senators. Some are saying they have 90 senators. Please, for God's sake, how many senators do we have? 109. Minus the person who is saying is 108. But and you know that in 2015, Benjamin Abila ran with Dogara. He had about 285 people that signed on for him, which means that less than 100 would have been for Dogara. But when they get to the floor of the House of Representatives, Dogara defeated Benjamin Abila in 2015. So when people brandish numbers, ignore it, because everything will end on the floor of the Senate.
And that comes from your years of experience.
Yes, of course. You don't expect me to be talking about numbers when I know the senators, I'm engaging them one-on-one. We are discussing, we are talking. I'm giving them ideas of what I'm going to do when I become the Senate President, and they're buying into it. So why will I now come and start saying 100 senators are supporting me? But I would prefer to keep that to myself. So that you don't even know my strength.
That suggests a measure of political maturity.
Yes, of course.
Nevertheless, there are reports that you may be considering taking the deputy's job for someone else. Is that true?
That is not correct.
You're going to stick with it?
No, that is not correct. We'll go the whole hog. I had that yesterday on social media.
Right.
And I believe it's the handwork of enemies. How can I be running for president of the Senate and you said I'm going to step down for somebody to become the person's deputy? We haven't gotten to that stage yet. And don't forget, I'm coming from a place where I come from, the Southeast. They believe that it is their turn to be the Senate president.
Yeah, but what makes it the Southeast?
Yeah, why they believe that it is their turn? They haven't had anything substantial in APC. And even in PDP, you remember that the Southeasterners supported President Goodluck Jonathan when he was president of this country. So South-South had President Goodluck Jonathan as president. South-South also produced the same Goodluck Jonathan as vice president to President Yar'Adua. Southwest had President Obasanjo, of course, Vice President Oshibanjo, and incoming President Bola Tinubu. Nothing in the Southeast. Even within the rank of APC, I can tell you that if anybody denies Southeast this opportunity, then the person is not being fair.
Yeah, but
within the APC, you are aware that South have produced two national chairmen of this party, Oyegu and Oshimole. South have also produced national secretary of our party, John Akpan Ududoye from Akwa Ibom State. Southwest have produced the first national chairman of our party, Chief Bisi Akande. As we are talking, Southwest is having the national secretary of our party, Omishore. And the South is also having, as we are speaking, is also having the deputy Senate president. So what is it in the Southeast? Nothing.
Yeah, but what if the criteria that they're using is the measure, the amount of support they received in the Southeast?
No.
How would you address that?
That would be misleading. I don't think anybody would want to use that criteria. That if you are saying that Southeast did not vote, why are you saying Southeast did not vote? What is in the Southeast that will motivate them to vote? In the Southwest, you have president, you have speaker. In the Northwest, you have President Buhari there. In the Northeast, you have Ahmed Lawan, you have Senate President. In the South, you have Deputy Senate President. In the North Central, you have Deputy Speaker, and you have National Chairman of our party. So what is the motivating factor that would have motivated the Southeast to even vote in the first instance.
Yeah, but is there a way
that is one factor. The second factor
is there a way of measuring how the APC has progressed in the Southeast?
Yes. The way to measure it is that today we have 2 governors of APC. APC is the leading party in the Southeast today. By May 29, we have 2 governors. PDP 1, Labour 1, APGA 1. Today we have 6 senators elect from the Southeast. When we started in 2015, we didn't have any senator elect from Southeast.
That's the APC.
The APC, yeah, but today we have 6. Labour 6, PDP 1, APGA 1, YPP 1. So which means that in the APC, we have progressed, it's in the Southeast, we have progressed meaningfully well, to the extent that if you are saying that we didn't vote during the presidential election, you should also remember that we also have produced senators more than we have done in the past.
Well, that's an interesting analysis. Of course, in the end, it'll all be down to who gets the most votes.
Yes.
What are you going to win the senators over with? I mean, we understand that lots of money is changing hands. Are you one of the big spenders? If not, what are you counting on?
First of all, I'm not aware that money is exchanging hands among the senators elect, because nobody have given me money.
Yeah, but you're competing, so you're
I have
the
not
one who's
given
going to
anybody
give money, not you.
No,
somebody coming to you to give it.
I'm a senator, nobody have given me money,
Yeah.
and I have given nobody money. So these are mere rumors
Right.
that a lot of money is being expended. What we are selling to our colleagues is the content of what you intend to do when you become the Senate President. That's what we're telling them. I have a 10-point agenda for the 10th Senate, and I'm marketing my 10-point agenda among my colleagues, and they're buying into it. So it's not about money here. Money will play no role in this election.
But what about the issue of zoning? I mean, do you consider what has been done to be unfair? Because, I mean, under the zoning arrangement, at least let's call it the zoning advice given by the APC, you have not met the zoning criteria for your party, the APC. They've given their advice on where the Senate presidency should go. Why do you feel the need to go against, if you like, the party whip?
No, but you are saying that the party have given an advice.
Yeah, but it's an advice it expects you to follow.
No. They don't expect you to follow. Because if you read the zoning letter that the APC issued, they didn't say that they have zoned. APC is calling for further and better consultation. That's what the second paragraph of that letter says. That we, NWC, are calling for further and better consultation among critical stakeholders, including aspirants.
So why would they mention names of people?
No.
That would create confusion, wouldn't it?
They went further in the same letter to say that the zoning arrangement given to the party, to the NWC, is hereby as follows. And they read those names. So that is not the party document. When the party wants to make a zoning of this nature, you have mechanism of doing things. The party may decide to set up a committee. The committee will finish their work, make recommendation to the NWC. NWC will make recommendation further to NEC. But before it goes to NEC, NWC will brief the National Caucus and get the buy-in of President-elect and incumbent President and other critical stakeholders like Senate President, the Speaker, and even all of us who are aspiring to those positions. Then before they go to NEC. And when they go to NEC, that is final. It's at that point you can say that the party have zoned. What you saw is a mere recommendation, which the party, they were not bold enough to own it up. If they are bold enough to own it up, why are they saying further and better consultation? Further and better consultation. So which means this one is not the better one. Now further and better consultation. And they went further to say that the zoning arrangement reported to the NWC is as follows. And I'm also against putting names. Even when you want to do zoning, you don't have to put names. You don't have to microzone to individuals. Something you know that will end on the floor, they're going to elect. So why do you microzone to individuals? That is not how it is done.
But what is it about
past.
this particular race that has made it so, I mean, fiercely competitive? I mean, we've never seen a race where, you know, I had, you know, one of your senators here recently, and he was saying that he himself has never seen a race where suddenly you go to public places and there are huge billboards and advertisements on the streets. I mean, posters everywhere, when normally the race for Senate president is an internal affair.
No, it is because of that advice, the so-called advice of the party, that recommendation that named persons to those positions. 6 weeks to the D-Day. How? 6 weeks. So those who you didn't name are now saying, no. I'm running. So the best way to show that you're running is to start
advertise yourself.
Yes, to advertise yourself. But be that as it may, the most important thing here is that it is an election that will take place on the floor of the two chambers. If you're not a senator elect or House of Rep member elect, you are not going to enter the chambers. So it is when they enter that chamber, which I would like to describe as conclave, then the presiding officers must emerge from the Senate first before the House of Representatives. So people are free to market themselves, people are free to advertise themselves, but it is something that I know how it will end and where it will end.
So how do you straddle the fact that you are a senator-elect representing the people, your constituency, but you're also going to be running as Senate president? I mean, I'm wondering whether there is a sort of middle course that allows you to do the things and carry out the responsibilities you have to your senatorial district, and then, you know, also play the role of Senate president.
When I was campaigning, I told them that as a ranking senator, if you vote for me, I will certainly run for the office of the Senate president. And that is one of the reasons why they voted for me. So I can't come halfway and abandon them.
Yeah, but what benefit would it be to them that you are Senate president? I mean, it's benefit to you, it's not benefit to them.
No. In fact, I will get no benefit. It is my constituency that will get all the benefits and the country at large. Because Senate president, you are the chairman of National Assembly. And this is a separate arm of government, distinct from the executive and legislature. So a lot of things passes through you for advice and intervention. So are you saying that people will not they will benefit far more than you being an ordinary senator?
Well, the reason I'm saying that is that there have been a series of Senate presidents who came from the Southeast.
Yes.
And the rhetoric from that part of the country has always been that they see their politicians when it's time for elections, and once it's over, they disappear into their gilded cages and return again when the next election cycle arrives.
No. What they're saying is not only peculiar to Southeast, it's peculiar to virtually.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm talking about you and your constituency.
Yeah, but
your district is in the Southeast.
If they don't have confidence in me, I couldn't have won this election. Let me tell you, in my local government where I come from, I got 21,000 votes. Our presidential candidate got 18,000 votes. I won this election with 70,000 votes. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu got 66,000 from my senatorial district. So when people begin to say that Southeast did not vote for him, no, my people voted for him because they know where we are heading to. They know that if we win this election, that will be heading for this office of the Senate president. So I'm not that kind of politician that will become a Senate president and I will abandon my people. They already know. That's why they voted for me. And they went ahead to vote for APC presidential candidate. And if I'm not the kind of person that I am, there was a wind that was blowing. The wind that had to blow for sitting governors, then who am I? I would have been out. But because they believe in me, they know that I won't disappoint them. So forget about whether I would do work for them or not. In fact, I'm in a hurry to work for them.
So I mean, you might have touched on this earlier, but just for the sake of clarity, what kind of Senate leader will you be if you emerge as the winner? What are the things that you intend to do with that position?
I will want to rebrand the Senate. The Senate requires rebranding. There are a lot of things that people don't know about the Senate. People have a negative perception about the Senate. We have to look at it. Even some serious products like Coca-Cola, they're still rebranding. So why can't we rebrand the Senate? So that Nigerians will know exactly, there's this erroneous impression that the senators are earning too much money.
You said it's erroneous?
Highly erroneous. No, because when they open the books, you will discover that the senators are not even making anything.
So are you going to open the books?
Of course.
Right.
I'll open the books and let the public know. There's another erroneous impression of what is called constituency project. People think that the constituency project is money that's given to a senator to go and put things in his constituency. No. These are things that are in the national budget and are done by the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. They're the ones that does those things. If you are lucky to be able to put something in the budget, you are not even the one to go and do it.
What about inflated budgets?
You can't inflate any budget these days because of what is called budget padding. Everybody is running away from scandal. So these are some of the things we have to let the public know exactly what the Senate is doing.
So you want to embark on an enlightenment campaign?
Proper enlightenment campaign about what we're doing. When I become the Senate president, not if, because I know I'll be the next Senate president. When I become the Senate president, we're going to look at national cohesion and national integration because it is highly threatened by insecurity. We'll look at it. We'll look at youth restiveness, youth unemployment. We'll have to look at certain things and make laws that will begin to narrow the gap between the rich and the poor. In Nigeria, we have no middle class. We have to begin to look at such things. How do you narrow it? So there are a lot to be done.
Right. So obviously you have to get there first.
Yes.
What is your message? We've got 2 minutes left before we end the interview, sadly. But what is your message to your fellow senators about why they should vote for you in preference to Godswill Akpabio or Ojus or Kalu or some of the other contenders?
Well, my message is that I'm eminently qualified, having been at the House of Representatives. In fact, I have worked as a staff in both House of Representatives and the Senate as a staff, and elected into the House and also elected into the Senate. I'm not sure that any of my contemporaries have that pedigree.
Yeah, but they can also say that they've been governors and you haven't been a governor.
Yeah, but that is why they should allow me to be the Senate president, because we're talking about legislature. If we're talking about governorship, I wouldn't worry myself, much as I've worked in the executive, but not at the level of being a governor. But this is at the level of legislature. So it is my area.
Yeah, but their argument is that most of the liaising that you have to do is with the executive. So somebody who has a better understanding of the executive arm and who is elected as an executive leader would have a better experience than you.
There's a tendency for somebody who's coming from the executive to think that he's still an executive position. In this thing we're talking about, you are leading your colleagues, your contemporaries, your equals. So it requires a lot of humility, a lot of maneuvering. So if you are coming from the executive, you won't have this kind of thing that I'm telling you now. So they might not have it. So that's why I think that it is better allow somebody with a legislative experience to lead this arm of government. This is a special arm of government, very special. It's a distinct arm of government. It's not something that you come as an executive governor, you come to the place and bring all that type of executiveness in you. It's not going to work. It won't work.
Well, I wish you all the very best. Senator-elect Osita Izunaso represents Imo West Senatorial District, and he is running to be president of the Nigerian Senate. All the very best to you, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much, Charles.